there's a rumor going around Reddit that the Houston Texans are thinking about trading for Mac Jones, that they would trade their number 2 pick to the Patriots for like 2 firsts and Mac Jones and a 4th. I mean, it's a rumor on Reddit, but if it were true, would it surprise you that D'Amico and Bobby Slowick would be more eager to trade for Mac Jones and Trey Lance?
Would it surprise me? No, because they were obviously in on those conversations and know everything about the research that went down, especially Slowick. And again, ever since I watched that D'Amico Ryan's head coach introductory press conference with the Texans, he pretty much said, like, we don't have to take a quarterback at number 2.
Right.
And as it gets closer, everyone's starting to realize that, even as more rumors come to be. And it's like, yeah, dude, I said, if you just watch this press conference, you knew. I've been saying this for like 2 months now. It's like he literally says, I just need a winner, or I just need someone who can run the offense efficiently. He didn't say we don't have to put it all on the quarterback. And I'm like, oh God, they definitely are disciples of Kyle Shanahan. And if you're the defensive coach, but I think that's something that all defensive coaches view. Like, they always we just need someone that's in there, and then I can play my defense good. We just need him not to lose the game, to put my defense in a pinch. So it's literally spoken like a real, honestly, a real true defensive guy, not just a Kyle Shanahan disciple. I just think it makes
Kyle Shanahan's a defensive coach at heart.
Yeah, essentially. So I think Mac Jones, you get there, Casero's probably like, hey, I think we could swindle this guy. I mean, we could probably get him for like a 2nd-round pick, and we could save all these other picks, and we can really boost up our defense. And then we're probably looking at almost competing for that 7th seed or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just wonder if the 49ers are down on Trey Lance, which that seems to be the case. They say they don't say they are, but it seems like they are. Then,
yeah, they're definitely more down than up.
Anyone that worked for the 49ers the last few years might be down on him too. And to your point, Martin Mayhew did not. He was not with the Niners in 2021, 2022. You were right. He left before then. So maybe Washington's a possibility, but I could see Houston preferring Mac. Also, their general manager is from New England. But if their first move, D'Amico, is to trade for Mac Jones, I mean, that's a waste. That's like signing Brian Hoyer as your first move. Like, that's pretty much what that is. So I hope D'Amico doesn't do that. I think trading for Trey would be smarter, and I wonder if D'Amico would figure that out. Again, I think the best place for Trey Lance to end up would be Seattle. And I know the Niners wouldn't trade him there, but if he just ends up in Seattle, Pete Carroll is great at just pumping confidence into people. Quarterbacks, I believe in you. I mean, it's basically what he did for Geno. Kyle does everything but that. He gives you the scheme, the defense, the weapons, but he's very negative and demanding, and if you're not good right away, he goes to the backup quarterback, and he loves backup quarterbacks. Kyle loves backup quarterbacks. He's great at developing backup quarterbacks. I think he's the best at it.
I mean, we've seen Kyle help multiple times with all the quarterbacks this past year, like pretty much get animated and even verbally yell at them. How many times have you've had some of your peers go up there and like, Kyle, what were you saying to Brock? Or were you saying to Trey? I mean, it's like or Jimmy, we've seen him like not just get animated, but again, actually yell. So it's definitely like that pressure. It's just like just run my goddamn play, or just do it right. Like, stop getting cute, stuff like that. That's why when Brock was that against New Orleans, where he goes all the way to the left, or was that Seattle? No, I think that was Seattle. He goes all the way to the left, and then he comes all the way back to the right and rolls it out, and almost has that beautiful and I think Ayuk dropped it or something like that. Yeah. I think Kyle was definitely pissed on that one, even though it was almost a sweet play. So it's stuff like that that's like, yeah, it's really pissed off. Yeah.
You see him blow up on his quarterbacks on the sideline. You don't see Pete Carroll do stuff like that.
No. He's just
he's the cheerleader.
Shooting his gun. I'm like, come on. All right. Butt pat. You got it. You got it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good.
No, what he would say to Trey is, dude, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best. You're so good. What Kyle says, I think, is you suck. You suck. Prove me wrong. You suck. Prove me wrong. And I think, that's good for Matt Ryan, maybe, who had been 28 and maybe had become a little complacent after a few Pro Bowls. Like, hey, challenge me. But, man, Trey, nah, I think he needs Pete Carroll's type of coaching. Like, no, dude, let's build you up. That's what Alex Smith needed from Jim Harbaugh. I think that's what Trey Lance needs. It's not like he's a cocky guy who's overconfident coming to the 40. He's not overconfident. That's not his problem. You know what I mean? No,
his character, he's a very upstanding guy. But yeah, Mac Jones, D'Amico, don't do it. I mean, again, like I just said, like the last topic, you can find these guys later. You can find these guys later, and it's why I thought I would have shredded the 49ers if they had drafted Mac Jones number 3. Like, you guys are stupid. You can get these guys later. Don't do it.
And what's funny is they think, well, we got a 6-year contract, so we don't have to draft a quarterback year 1. What you should probably think, you have to draft a quarterback every year until you find a franchise quarterback. So you should just be thinking this gives us more opportunities to draft quarterbacks and get it wrong. So if you really like CJ Stroud, freaking take him and give him a shot. And if he's Josh Rosen, take a quarterback next year. You got a 6-year contract, as opposed to just punting on the most important position for a year.
Well, I think if you take Stroud, you pretty much guarantee him at least 2 years of tryout, unless something literally preposterous happens, like a Zach Wilson situation. But
Pulls a
even
Josh Rosen.
2 years, right? Yeah, pulls a Josh. I mean, a lot of those are kind of like more outliers. You know what? They are outliers, but they're becoming more of a trend now, especially like the last like 3-4 years with so many like first round quarterbacks not being like instantly elite. But
if you take a quarterback and he's not elite, and then the next year you're in a position to take someone even better, like your fan base will be like, dude, take that. Like let's say you take, CJ Stroud, and then you're the worst team in the league and you suck, and then you're in position to take Caleb Williams. Like, who cares? Take Caleb Williams, trade CJ Stroud. Great, you got Caleb Williams. Great. It worked out.
There's definitely going to be the debate, though, about like, we spent this pick last year already. Let's just keep rolling out and see what he's got and use that pick elsewhere to build around the team and uplift them. There's always going to be that pushback. There's never going to be like that consensus of that, of it being that.
Yeah, I guess every team would do it different, but I mean, the Cardinals traded Rosen for Kyler Murray, and Kyler's better. I still think that
that's different. New regime came in than the year before.
I feel like the Cardinals try to leak a bunch of stuff about Kyler to make him look bad, but really they've done very little to help him. Like, I saw something, they've spent all their first round picks on like linebackers and defense, and they've drafted two offensive linemen since he's been on the team. Like, that's ridiculous. That's dumb. So I have to side with Kyler on that. He should have played baseball.
I mean, all the leaks, like you said, are trying to like, then Las Vegas A's, to defame the,
on the one hand, they try to make him look bad. On the other hand, they give him the contract. It's like, what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys are doing those things to defame him, but it's really, you're making yourself look stupid because you're the one that extended him, which I thought it was early. It's like, what are you doing this so early for? Why?
Right.
Why?
Right.
He's clearly immature. I mean, especially this year, he's yelling at DeAndre Hopkins and stuff like that. His coach, like, relax there, Mr. Unaccomplished. This is the problem with Mac Jones. Like, he's over there like screaming at everyone, and it's like, dude, shut the hell up. Who are you? Stop.
How good would Jalen Hurts be if the Eagles spent all their draft picks on linebackers instead of offensive linemen? I mean, I love Jalen Hurts. He's really good, but you have to acknowledge he has the best offensive line in the league. It really helps a young quarterback. I love how teams think, what does a quarterback need? A good defense. Well, yeah, until he gets hurt. Like, what he really needs is someone to blocking.
Just learn from the Colts and Andrew Luck. They forced him into early retirement. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the one example you need. That's the one example you need.
Yep. Chris Grove says, yesterday's convo, I live in Las Vegas. Tourists won't care about the A's, but what fans from Yankees, Sox, Rangers, Angels, or any team not want to go to Vegas to watch their team? A's will succeed here. So, okay. So, like, when the Yankees so when a big team comes to town and there's some New Yorkers in town, they'll go see the game. But what about when, like, the Kansas City Royals are in town, or the San Diego Padres, or the Florida Marlins? I know there's interleague and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, that's how it used to be with the Raiders too in the 80s. They could win a Super Bowl the next year. If they played the Niners in the LA Coliseum, they'd fill it up. If they played the Saints, there'd be no one there, even though the Raiders were a great team with Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. Like, no one gave a shit in LA because, like, oh, it's not a marquee matchup. It's a great day in LA, not going to see football.
The Rangers or the Angels? Why are they mentioned in here? Don't mention them, especially the Angels. And what do you think? They're going to fill up those? I mean, Yankees and Sox, the Red Sox, they're going to be like, they're almost always weekend games because they want it in prime time. But yeah, I think it'll still work. Vegas.
Chris Grove says, no offense, Grant, but between Oakland and Vegas, where will fans travel to? Niners give Trey a damn opportunity. Go Dubs, and I love the channel. Thanks, Chris. But again, you're banking on away, like the fans from away teams filling up the stadium, and that's what happens at SoFi and the Raiders game. So, like, all the fans are away fans. That's what you want.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
They don't care.
They don't. I mean, in football, that hurts your team.
LA's fair weather at its finest, and it's always been just the Lakers and USC town and Dodgers. It's always been those three. Those three. Putting the
going to
Rams
a
back there was
basketball
stupid.
game is inherently glamorous. Like it's like going to a nightclub. You know what I mean? You get the spotlights on you. You dress up. Like football is nothing glamorous about it. You might get in a fight. You know, you have to be around a bunch of people drinking hell beer, and you're not going to be on television unless you're up in a box.
Do you know
It's
that
not
the
glamorous.
Raiders freaking put like a nightclub at the end zone where the old black hole used to be in
Did they?
Legion Stadium? They have a black
That's
hole. They have
so
when
lame.
it's literally a nightclub. It's literally you can get bottle service. It's promoted by the Win/Encore. So it's
That's so lame.
so you're saying like, oh, all this drunk rowdiness is like, no, it's more just like nightclubby kind of upscaley now. It's like there's no culture there. There's no personality there.
Yeah, it's the Vegasification of Oakland.
It's literally a nightclub football stadium.
Yeah, which is not in the. It's not in the spirit of football. Football is not a nightclubby. Like basketball is a big city nightclubby type of sport. Football thrives in Texas, Ohio, Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Like the less going on there is in that area, the more important football is to the cultural fabric of that region. Like that's the way I look at football. The more there's going on, the more it gets pushed down the pecking order of things to do and care about.
I think it'll be fine. They just need a winner. If you win, they will come. If you win, they will come. The home fans, at least. Not the A's though, because baseball is like mid.
Does anyone care about baseball anymore?
No.
I don't know. No. Monsa Toure says Ayuk can trade to Houston for number 13. I don't think so. 13's real high up there. I feel like Ayuk on his own would get you like 25 or a little later since he was 25. And then Trey to me isn't worth much right now because the Niners botched the first 2 years of his career. So I don't think they could do it. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Official BNA Music 88 says, if fired, Kyle will be backup quarterback coach OC for the New York Jets.
Kyle ain't getting fired anytime soon.
Michael McCann says, if SF trades a significant player to grab a first-round pick, it needs to be added to the overall impact of Lance's failure. No need to move up otherwise. That's a good point. Maybe that's another reason they won't do that because it's like compounding the
right. Yeah, it's like you had some. Well, is it? Oh yeah, because you could have already had that first round pick. You could have gone that offensive tackle anyways.
Like technically, they're drafting Trey Lance in round 1 on tomorrow. Technically, the Niners are drafting Trey Lance for the 3rd time tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
I bet you the Niners won't tweet out tomorrow like with the something pick. The Niners select Trey Lance. No, they want everyone to forget Trey Lance.
And so hold on. So did the Dolphins forfeit this pick? I don't know. I'll have to look.
No, you're right. They did because I was looking at the draft order yesterday where me and you were like texting about like what teams they can go to, and I'm like, dude, it has to be mid-20 teams, like all these teams. And I saw like the Dolphins were supposed to pick like 18th or something like that, whatever 17th, because since they were the first round exit or whatever. And yeah, it says forfeit, and I don't think I saw 32, so that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think anyone got filled in for that.
Yeah. Smack Jones says, shout out to Grant. 2 live streams back to back make my work day go by so fast. I'm sure your boss is real happy with me and you. Yeah. So shout out to you. Man, I hate a corporate work day too, so I'm glad.
You just tell his boss,
you just have it on.
The stream gets me efficient.
Like, how do you just have like a little? You just put it on, kind of sneak it. How would you do it? I don't.
Dude,
I work from home.
No one questions anything.
AirPod. I love it, dude. I love it. Do what you got to do.